Well, we are past peak. All the leaves are dropping off the trees. All that stick over there. We got a lot of rain the past couple weeks though, which is good. I mean, this water should still be up to here. They've had to lower all the lakes down to account for all the rivers have been empty. And so a lot of it's been some problems, but still pretty though. On the GS day, I thought I'd talk to you about the house remodel. We are moving out soon. So, isn't this pretty though? There you go. Yeah, it's pretty. Yeah, but on the 1250 GSA, 13,000 miles. So I've added 1,000 miles to it since I got back from Alaska last August. So, 1,000 miles in 14 months. No good, man, no good. But it's been a busy year. Let's get on the bike and get into it. So I have good news. Since I last talked to you about all the updates going on, just to recap real quick, we had 2 town variances approved last September. We flew up from Charlotte, North Carolina to do those. Looks like I actually could have taken a right back there. Let's do that. I did not know that. Yeah, I didn't know that. Let's try it. Livingston Lodge Road. So last September we flew up to New Hampshire from Charlotte while I was still working at Credit Karma, living down there, and went to the town in front of the zoning board and had them approve 2 variances that would enable us the ability to build out closer to our neighbor's property within the town zoning setback. Setback is like 15 feet from the sides of our property and 20 feet back from the road. Our house is grandfathered in to essentially being in the setback on all directions. It's kind of is what it is, but kind of sucks, but it's just, we have a small lot. So got that approved. We also had approval for going up a level. That was a big part of it as well, as going up, building up. And then we started the process of selecting a general contractor, and over the course of a year, basically a year, we iterated with him we got on a schedule for this fall, but iterating with him on what we actually wanted to do and the scope of our work. And a lot of time was wasted up front because we really had a wish list of what we wanted, and it took him a while to find vendors. We don't live in a city. There's like 5 places that do some of these things that we need around the area. I mean, for our solar panel work, we had to go to a company 3 hours south of us for the solar panel work. The electrician is 2 hours south of us for the work. To find someone available, we have like 5 electricians in the whole area we live in. There's like 1 pool company in the whole county, that kind of thing. We're not doing a pool. So all this took work. So he had to go to like, I think 10 different excavation companies before 2 would actually bid on the work we wanted to have done, and both came back really high. So we were gonna dig back behind the house by 13 or 15 feet, and then we were gonna dig then make the garage into like an L shape. So a tandem garage going straight back, right here. A tandem garage going straight back, and then cutting over an L behind our current foundation. So I would have a workshop back there for working on things, and then an area for parking up front, so I could roll a bike back to the workshop area and work on it, and roll it back to the storage area. And the car, I would just do a quick jack system. Or no, I was gonna do a 2-post lift in the front of the garage. And then we were gonna do the ceiling was gonna be like 18 feet high. We were gonna cut into our first floor and leave that as dead space and go straight up. The site work alone came back as 100 grand, and then adding the additional level on top was going to be an additional 150 grand or so. So he gave us a quote: no landscaping, no paving, no fencing, basic build, overall basic build was going to be about $700,000. And we owe 100 in our current house. So financing 800. And at 7% interest rates, we said, no. We can't do that. And we were going to do like 50K versus landscaping and hardscaping as well. And we also wanted to grow our driveway a bit. So the whole thing just was like No, it's not going to work. All right, so back to the drawing board. That took a lot of time. We finally found what we wanted to do, and that all came in at, let's see, $375 or so is what he came back with. That's our wish list, $375, everything included. And then we went and we got some additional quotes for the solar panel removal and reinstall, additional quotes for mini splits and adding a cooling system to our house, upgrading our service to 200 amps, adding a sub panel, and then we wanted to also replace all of our rock walls with Ready Rock, use an excavation to grow the size of our parking area, widen our driveway, do fencing, level out our driveway, put a shed, a 12x16 shed in the back, steps to the backyard, 40 foot by 15 feet of pavers, cement patio pavers, and a bunch of other stuff, like an outdoor kitchen, have our propane tanks relocated, all that extra stuff that we really, really wanted to have, we added all that in. So the total price has come to like $489 from, so $49 total. So we'd be financing $589 with the current $100 grand we owe on our property. No, it's not a teardown. It is truly still a remodel. We're keeping our living space intact. We're just finishing the basement beneath it. The living space is not going to be very cool now because we're not going to be able to grow our living space much, and we're not going to have as large of bedrooms by going up a level. So instead of going from 700 square feet to like 2,500 square feet, we're going from 700 to 1,500 square feet, and then 500 square feet for the garage area. It's very small. It's not our forever home. It's not our dream home. I'm 39. It's not going to be something that we are in for maybe more than 10 years. Maybe even thinking more ideally, eventually I buy some land. Is it pretty today? I buy some land and I build an Atom garage on there to hold our eventual winter boat storage, a Class C motorhome, and all the kind of things that, toys and stuff. That'll be down the other side of town. Just put a cheap, spend 200 grand and put a garage with, a little ADU above it I can rent out, a little 1-bedroom ADU above it, or a little condo up there, in-law suite above it, to rent out, and have, a half an acre for myself somewhere else that are, zoned. Our zoning is whatever. You can do whatever you want as long as you get signage approval for your home business. So it'd still be R1 zoning for residential. I think that's what we'll do. And then we would like to keep this place, rent it out, and then when we downsize in 30 years, move back into it, our house today. So like, we should keep the house. It's a lake house. It's a nice lake house. It'll keep appreciating in value. So maybe eventually we'll move out once Matilda's in her teenage years, and we will instead choose to move back into this place when we're 50 or 60 if we don't sell it first. So that's kind of the thought process, is yes, it's going to be small, but not small for like 65-year-old Adam, right? Just thinking out loud there. What else was I going to say? Oh, so got that done with the contractor, selected our bank we wanted to go with, started that process, and then we filed our New Hampshire Department of Environmental Services permit, which cost us like $500. That got approved, and then we finally were able to submit our building permit for the town. That just got approved. So we're done. We're on our general contractor schedule for the first week of November, which is like 2 weeks from now. So we're starting to pack up our house. We're going to live with Heather's parents for 3 months. He says it's a 2-month job, so I'm planning on it being like 4 months. Just because that's how we've done this before with this house. We had a 1-month project that took 3. So I'm ready for anything, but their goal is obviously to get the new roof system put on before the snow flies in earnest. So then they can do insulation and do all the interior work with the, with the house sealed up, and then finish it, sometime in January was his hope. Yeah, I mean, it's a, excuse me, sorry. It's a scary situation. We're gonna increase our mortgage payment from $1,250 a month to $4,700 a month. A lot of money. I guess $1,250 a month was very, very good for the last 10 years. And now it's time to grow up, put my big boy pants on. And so, you know, we've made some changes. Like now, Heather and I just share one account. We still have our own accounts, but we no longer just cover our house account expenses. We put everything on one account. And I'm getting better about spending for a while. I have picked up a second job 7 months ago in anticipation for this. I knew this was coming. So I picked up a second job. I'll take a left here and keep talking until this eventually dies. So my second job, it brings in minimum pre-tax about $3 grand a month. It's my second job. And if I do double time, it's $6 grand a month. But that means working 16 nights a month or 8 weekend days per month to do double time. So right now it's 4 weekend days per month or 8 evenings per month for $3 grand. Not bad at all. It's a really great side job. I am doing I have some garage plans for the garage build. And so I want to put together like 15 grand or so in savings just for the garage and our networking upgrades and home theater upgrades. You know, the Atom stuff, as well as building out the shed, which we're paying for separately. And so it's about 15 grand that I want to put together for those expenses. And so I am working like every weekend in October and November, which will equal, you know, 12 grand that I can put together towards that. And then I'll keep saving, you know, my December and January expenses to get ready for that. So I'm hoping that March and April we'll have a bunch of videos just dedicated to the garage, which will be fun. Gotta get the flooring done too, that kind of stuff. Yeah, it's gonna be, you know, it's not a big deal. So if you go back to my house or, you know, Overlook, I think it's Overlook or My House on the YouTube playlist for my channel, you can watch all 20 or so videos where we built it the first time. We turned it into from a 3-season camp into a livable home that's 700 square feet. I've been working out of our unfinished garage for a while with the motorcycles, and now I have a real garage. And this should get us through Matilda's teenage years. And, you know, we're both still in a situation where we're both still making money, working more money each year. We're still in a growth part of our careers. And so I think, you know, 10, 15 years from now, we'll be able to move into something that's much larger. We've also agreed with ourselves that our house as it stands today, we have a lot of equity into it. We got it super cheap. But I think we got it for, you know, 150, and we have put, and it's probably worth 350 to 400. We think once things improve a little bit with the economy in 4 or 5 years, we'll probably be able to sell it for $1 million. And so we're at a good place. We're actually building more equity into it and making it more livable for us and Matilda. So if anything, if we don't want to keep it, we've basically made it more marketable and a nicer home, good curb appeal. Our garage is nice. It'll have this really nice outdoor kitchen and patio area for the views of the lake with a fire pit. It'll be really, really nice for someone that wants a lake home. It may not be the size for most people these days, but as a summer lake house for someone to, you know, be in, you know, 10 or 15 weeks out of the year, it's perfect for that. And so there's a lot of folks down south in Mass that would love to buy our home for $1 million and have a lake house with a dock and, you know, a beach and stuff like that. So we think it's still going to be very marketable with the work we're putting into it. It's not going to be a waste of money. But you know, we're in a place now where we'll at least have a good situation for us and Matilda, and it'll be exciting. It'll be super exciting. And you know, the good news is Thanksgiving and Christmas we'll be living with Heather's mom, which we did in 2016. Matilda will be with us, and Heather's mom is not complaining about that at all, having her grandkid live with her for a couple months with us. We'll be back in the one bedroom we were in before. And the content of the channel will still keep continuing because I'm going to keep putting together videos of the progress like I did before. So, warning, no motorcycle videos this winter. Not this winter, this fall. Because it'll be, you know, every 3 or 4 days an update on the house construction. And there's going to be videos where I'm frustrated, and there's going to be videos where I'm super excited because we're getting a lot of stuff done. So I'm really, really excited about the fall and winter videos for you guys. And then further winter videos of building out the garage. So we're talking about 60 or so videos from now until May of next year that are focused on Adam's house build. And some people said, you guys commented, and you said, yeah, we'd like to see some content on that. I was going to do it anyway because I just like archiving stuff on this channel. I've really enjoyed watching some of the videos before, and my general contractor, who has been curious about like what lies behind my walls, has watched some of my old videos and like, you know, has been able to figure it out. Oh, I see how he did this header. I see how he did this insulation. I see this is why this is leaking, or why this seam isn't properly done because they did this and this and this. He's been, you know, enjoying seeing what's behind my walls to help him make a better estimate. But I think we're going to come in at like $215 to $250 per square foot, and that includes all of the exterior work too, which I'm really excited about. We're going to get all the money we put into landscaping, all that money we're putting into landscaping we'll get back, because it's a lake house. We want to be outside enjoying the lake, and so we think that's going to be a really big thing. We had ideas of making a balcony and a front porch and making the L behind it, and you know, going up the level with these walkout balconies and porches for each of the 2 master bedrooms or primary bedrooms. It was going to be really, really, really nice, but we don't want to have a mortgage payment of like $7,500 a month. That would really stretch us thin, and we still want to travel. So that's the update. So it's like October 17th or something. I taught all this week classes for my second job. I'm teaching classes this weekend, next weekend, weekend after, and the weekend after. And then I have one more evening set of classes into November, and then I'm going to have one more class the week before Christmas. So like 6 or 7 classes during the fall when I should be out riding and doing some off-roading. But honestly, we're packing up in the evenings. I'm teaching classes. Obviously, I'm working my day job. Heather's working her job. We have the baby. And so we're just trying to, you know, keep it all together. And then once we have to move back in the house, I'll take a month or 2 off from my teaching gig to get settled in before we go back into our lives of doing stuff. And I also, I have talked to Heather about this. You know, I did a lot of classes this summer because I just started this job of teaching project management classes. I was trying to obviously take any time slots they had available because they book things 6 months out. So a lot of the classes that I wanted to take were already taken up by instructors. And so I basically took anything they would give me, which meant I didn't ride much this summer. And we were also busy trying to like settle in back to our home, settle back into our jobs of moving back up here, deal with, you know, Matilda's growing up and trying to give her our full attention. And so, you know, it was fine. But I told Heather that next summer I'm going to be more strategic. I'm going to do a lot of classes in the spring and early summer, and then maybe take like July, August, and September off from teaching classes in the nights and weekends, so we can do some family trips together and can't go camping and do some riding together. Heather wants to do something really, really special for my 40th birthday next year, and she's thrown out all kinds of stuff like ride the fjords of Norway, ride the Black Forest of Germany and the Swiss Alps, rent bikes in Greece and go around Greece on motorcycles. What else? Oh, traverse Scotland and go into Ireland on motorcycles, stuff like that. But I think I've decided that, you know, we've done a lot of traveling in Europe together and we love it. And I mean, most of you, they're out like going to Mongolia for a week, and like, yeah, those would be fun things to do. I would enjoy those. But she hasn't really seen the country on a motorcycle. She hasn't gone any farther east than Buffalo, any farther north than Quebec City, west of Buffalo, and she's gone as south as Virginia and like, you know, Richmond and Charlotte area on a motorcycle. And so I was thinking, what if we put the bikes in the back of the Ram and drive out to the Dakotas, drive out to Wyoming, drive out to Colorado, unload the bikes, and go on a ride in that area together. So maybe we take a week or 2 off in August for my birthday, and we just go on we go out west. Maybe she and I drive to, I don't know, Vancouver, and unload and ride around Whistler and do BC together. So, you know, that's what I bought the Ram. I bought the Ram for motorcycle trips, and we haven't done one in a couple of years. So, you know, leave the baby with the grandma for a couple of weeks and go celebrate my 40th in a tent overlooking a beautiful lake in the mountains, in the Rocky Mountains, with the Canadian Rockies. I'm wrapping it up here soon, but, you know, 40th birthday is coming up in August of next year. Our 10-year anniversary happened recently. We have an anniversary coming up. Our house closing anniversary is next year. We've owned our home for 10 years next year. and we'll be celebrating by having Thanksgiving and Christmas at our house for the family, which would be really great. There'll be space to actually have Christmas at our house, put a tree up for once, those kind of things. So like, I think my 40th year, it's gonna be like, wow, look at all the progress we made in our lives. So I'm really stoked. I'm excited. I think that there's a lot to be thankful for. And yes, it does suck working 2 jobs. She works 2 jobs too. We always have had like moonlighting things. But I gotta say, you know, of all the second jobs I've ever worked, it's really nice to have a schedule where I know, you know, the next 2 weekends I'm busy and not be on call or working a job where I'm working, you know, weird hours or getting weird phone calls during the day. But instead it's a job where, you know, I set my own hours, I book, you know, based on their schedule, and then go and do it and make a bunch of money and put that money towards stuff like this hobby. But the bikes are all done. The beta is all done. Actually, no. The beta is going to have new pegs going on today. Those just came in. I ordered IMS Rally foot pegs and foot peg springs back in June, and those are finally arriving to my door today. They were back ordered for months from IMS, the beta foot pegs. So those arrived today. That's the last thing on the beta. The BMW convertible, it needs new suspension and a couple of other parts, which I have ordered, and those will be, just because stuff takes a while. Those BMW parts for those E46s, a lot of that stuff's not available anymore. It's not made anymore. And so you got to scour eBay and stuff. So you sometimes order stuff and it's just on back order for 3 or 4 months. I ordered that stuff. That'll be done on the car once I'm in the new garage. I'm not going to do any more, I promise you. There are no more videos planned until I'm in the new garage. I'm going to save everything. I want to strip this bike down and ship the Clearwaters off to Clearwater and have them rewire my my Dixie or DC lights, because they don't work. They work, but they don't work the way they're designed to work. I have a custom configuration on my high beam setup, and I want running lights in the DCs. My DCs don't have running lights. They do, but they don't work on the wiring harness. So I have to mail that back to Clearwater. All that stuff's going to wait until I have motorcycle lift, flooring, everything will be done. So I've got some plans for toolboxes and all kinds of fun stuff. I'm gonna get a 3D printer, good lighting, heating, television setup, speaker system. All that stuff's gonna go in the garage. I'm so excited about it. Yeah, so all that stuff's gonna wait until the garage is done. So it could be April, it could be May, I don't know. And then next summer's gonna be a great summer. All right, well, we are almost to the cafe that just opened up in town, and I'm gonna go get a coffee or an espresso shot and a little sandwich and work on stuff. I took 4 days off work this week. That's the only problem with this side gig is if I do in-person stuff, it's during the week. There's a few weekend in-person classes. Most of the classes I teach are virtual, but like once every 3 or 4 months, I do an in-person weekday class, which means taking 4 days off work. And I am going to end the year with 2 weeks of PTO that I can bank forward into 2026, and I'm going to use that towards my vacations next year. So I was smart. I took no vacation this year. I took no time off from work this year, and I banked as much as I could, taking only time off to teach classes. And now I'm going to roll that forward into 2026. And still open? They're still open, right? Hopefully they are. Yes. And put it right. We'll go over here. Let's go over here. And use that for next year's vacation with Heather. We want to do stuff with it. We want to do family stuff too, but we're going to figure that out. We're going to figure something out next year. I know it. I just know it. All right, guys. Well, here at the coffee shop, good place, just opened up. If you're local, go check it out. Oh, yeah. All right. Right, everyone. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. I'm going to do another video really soon. That video is going to be me sitting in front of a computer monitor talking about the house build, but walking you through all the work that we have planned with actual drawings. So I've drawings to show off. Oh, also, last thing is I have here an iPhone 17 Pro. I downgraded from the Max to the Pro, 16 to 17, and I like it. I like it. It's faster. Battery life is less, but you know me, always doing stuff. I sold my 17 Pro Max 1 terabyte for $1,300, and I bought this for $1,500. So $200 year-over-year upgrade, not bad. All right, guys, have a good day. Bye.